Hi everyone, the purpose of this video is to explain this project with Unique Biotech. So Unique Biotech happens to be India's largest manufacturer of probiotics. And probiotics is a market which is growing massively, especially in the US. And Unique Biotech exports a lot of probiotics to the US. So now Unique Biotech has already set up a data engineering team which is mining out data through some data scrapers. They're mining out data and they're bringing in sales oriented intelligence which can help them crack more clients. While this is going neat, now we're moving into the next project with Unique Biotech. The first project we were doing is sales intelligence. There's already a 4-member team of Deep Thought which is on this project. We're doing another project where there'll be a 4-member team. And here what we're doing is we are working on this problem of increasing the capacity. Let us say you're currently producing 100 units today. How do you increase the production from 100 units to 1000 units? Now, for somebody who does not have enough of business exposure, you might think that pay more money and it's done. No, there's a process to it, because if you hire a lot of people without having proper processes, you may spend more money, but you may not get that productivity. And when you don't get that productivity, your margins go down. Your revenue might go up, as in from 100 rupees, you might go to, from 100 crore, you might go to 1000 crore. But then on 100 crore, if you were making a 20 crore profit, on 1000 crore, you might make only a 10 to 12 crore profit if the efficiency doesn't go up. Because technically speaking, when your volumes go up, you want your margins also to go up because the economies of scale come in. When you're making more, you want to be getting a greater margin. But that's very nice on a theoretical front to me, but to execute it is where the challenge is. And this is where data science comes into picture in terms of what are the various processes, how do we do the data modeling for all the processes which are happening within Unique Biotech. And once we do this data modeling, how do we understand the data? Like the questions to ask is, for example, let's say you collect the data of which of these managers are very good at giving constructive feedback. So once you get data, can you correlate the managers who are giving constructive feedback, how are those teams doing in terms of performance? Or those teams which are doing really well in terms of performance, what is common to them? Are they all speaking a particular language, or are they all having one kind of educational qualification, or do they all have some cultural similarity which is helping us get that productivity? These data driven insights are super useful. Now again, you can go very deep in terms of constructing models to solve this problem, and that's where life is exciting. So if someone is saying, I know Power BI, I know Tableau, I know Python really well, then I'm not looking for plumbers and carpenters here. Somebody who knows only Power BI and Tableau is like a plumber or a carpenter. But a real data scientist is somebody who understands the domain level problem and can use this data visualization and use all this data investigation, right? I mean, why do you use Python? You use Python because if you ask this question, what's in common to all the teams which are having great performance, it's very difficult to do it manually, and that's why you use these visualization tools or you use this technology to make that happen. But then you do that only to bring the scale, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is to understand the business problem and come up with creative solutions for it. And that's why in this assignment which is given to you, you're given this task of asking questions. Now, there are people, maybe mainly state board oriented students. I'm not saying every state board oriented student is not fit for an innovation environment, but maybe more than 95% of state board oriented students, or the students who go into rigorous IIT coaching, don't fit into innovation environments, because you require people not with robotic thinking but with innovative thinking. So and when I say innovative thinking, let me put it in a simple manner. We'd like you to understand the question very carefully. So if you're not reading the Google Sheet 2 to 3 times, and if you're not comprehending the Google Sheet, it could be challenging. So please make sure you read the Google Sheet very carefully, comprehend the task which is given on hand, and come up with a very creative solution to the problem. Because we look at, and see, this is a project which would usually be done with people with PhDs, right? People with PhDs in social psychology would typically be taken for this kind of a data science role. But we're trying to hire youngsters, we're trying to hire freshers for this role because we believe youngsters can come up with amazing ideas. So if you are that youngster who comes up with that fresh thinking, who's comprehending, using the logic, bringing in that intelligence into the project, will probably be interested in hiring you. So this is what our expectations are, and I hope you understand the expectations of the project. So do not rush into the assignment. Spend some time, read the instructions on the Google Sheet carefully. If required, get onto the internet, read some articles, because now in a way this assignment is also assessing your seriousness. In a way, the assignment is also assessing your seriousness towards the project, right? The candidates who spend some time to do the assignment are serious towards this role, and those are the ones we'd like to hire. So I hope this sets a great context for you, and we hope that you'd enjoy this assignment, and we'll connect with you in case in case we find your assignment to be creative, and in case we find your assignment to be up to the mark, that's when we'll get in touch with you. If you've not heard from us, it probably means that your assignment is not up to the mark. We'll also be sharing one sheet with feedback. So I'll quickly share my screen and show you some of the feedbacks we're sharing. So as you can see here, there are a lot of people who got 1 on 10. They didn't understand what the data model is. So their questions were very generic. How much is the volume of data collected? What is the data trustable? I mean, even if I change the subject, if I give a some coal factory ka data and all of that, you can ask the same question. I mean, you get it, right? This question can be asked for any domain, any problem, which means the person has not really understood the data set which is given, right? So what is the structure in which this data is being collected is actually explained here, right? So there's a 4-pager which is given to you, where we've explained. So there's an intro here. What is this data? Why are we collecting this data? There's pretty good amount of information which is given here. There's so much of analysis which could be done. Somebody who's very passionate who studies this, somebody who's highly intelligent who studies this carefully could have done a lot of analysis. That's not done. To be honest, none of the assignments were up to the mark. So even we've given this 7, but we feel the questions could be a lot better, right? So here there's some interest. See, the reason why this is given 7 is there are some specific questions which are asked, but once you read the data very carefully, I'm sure the quality of questioning can really improve. So this 1 on 10 and 2 on 10 are people who've not really asked. So here the person has asked some decent questions, just specific, but again, it shows lack of seriousness towards the role, because if you really spend some time studying the data sets and understanding the data sets, you would have asked some really good questions. Yeah, this appears interesting. Like, what is the time management? Yeah, this is definitely interesting, but then again, it doesn't cap. Again, it seems to be very generic. I mean, the person has not connected these questions to the data model, which shows lack of comprehension of the data given to the candidate. I mean, the questions are not studying the data that well. So, I mean, we may shortlist this candidate, but to be honest, I think we expect a much better assignment than that. So I hope this feedback, helps you. Some of this feedback will also be shared on a web page with you shortly. And in case you want to learn how to think in an innovative way, in case you want to learn with us for a few days and then complete the assignment, you can be a part of what is called the observation process. DeepThought runs something called the observation process. So in the feedback link, that observation process link will also be given to you. You can actually be a part of the observation process to spend 3 days with DeepThought, understand what is innovative thinking, and then reattempt the assignment after the observation process. So in case you want to do that, we're open to that as well. So we hope this was helpful, and we hope this changes the way you look at data science, and we hope this helps you grow as that innovative leader. Because look, America and all these developed nations are way ahead of India because we do the donkey jobs, we do the carpenter plumber jobs, right? But I think India can also innovate, and that can happen when youngsters like you just starting their careers can get into this innovation space. So I look forward to seeing your assignments soon. Wishing you all the best.